Ready to rock and roll?
Cuz, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
How's it
No
going?
worries.
Yeah,
Welcome
good.
to my home.
Hey, this is a sweet pad.
For those who are listening, welcome to the Jeffrey podcast. We have a special guest with us this afternoon, Art Green. Stoked to have you, mate. It's very, very good.
I'm stoked to be here.
Phenomenal.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always helps. Oh, good
Cuz,
stuff.
what is your favourite takeaway right now?
Oh, wow.
Dangerous.
Straight in with the hard questions.
Go to.
Okay. For me right now has got to be Gourmet Burger Co. Based up. So I live in Warkworth, so I don't have all of the
Luxury.
the plethora of takeaway options that they have down here in the city. Options are few and far between. Well, you've got your standard, fish and chips and your Indian takeaways, and I think there's a Pizza Hut and stuff like that. But Gourmet Burger Co., delicious burgers.
That's what we want to hear.
And always, they always deliver. I mean, they don't actually physically deliver. In fact, you have to go pick them up. But they deliver in terms of taste.
That's what we're here for.
What's your go-to burger there, though?
Probably the chicken salsa verde. Yeah, I'll get that with
spicy number.
just lettuce buns.
Yep.
And probably get some Kermit fries.
Oh,
And come on home, and I make my own aioli, so
nice.
I just wrap my laughing gear around that.
Boomtown.
Yeah.
It's outrageous
Good.
stuff from you. I like
Why'd
it.
you make the move up to Warkworth?
Well, before great question. Thank you, Charlie. We were living literally about 200 meters from where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, you were
We were living in Manama, and love the area. It's so cool. As you guys are probably finding it, but it's also pretty pricey. And a couple of years ago, Maddie and I were looking to buy a place.
Cool.
And so we started sort of looking at the housing market and realised that we couldn't really afford anything that we really wanted to live in. Anywhere close to Auckland, really, the main sort of area of Auckland. So started looking further afield. And at the same time also, we've been, our life has been pretty hectic ever since we got off The Bachelor. So, it was like 5.5 years ago that Maddie and I were on The Bachelor, and and then it kind of catapulted us into the spotlight. And ever since then, our lives have been like pretty hectic and kind of on fast forward. So we also kind of wanted to physically remove ourselves from the environment that it was just like so fast paced. So then we started looking further afield for a place to live, and started looking up in Warkworth. And Charlie, obviously that's where you grew up, and
Sure is.
I'd spent a lot of my childhood visiting you guys in school holidays and stuff, and so I knew the area well, and I loved Warkworth, and I do still love Warkworth. And I've just got such great memories of being there. And
So good.
so started looking for a place up there, and managed to find a cool old villa to buy. And then we just didn't even really think twice about it. We just moved on up, and it's been probably the best decision that we've ever made.
Yeah.
So we've been up there for 2 years and just love it. Love the lifestyle, love the community, love the proximity to some amazing beaches, and
Yeah. That's
great.
phenomenal. You've got a young one, Milo, right?
Yeah.
How old's Milo now?
He's a year and a half old.
Year and a half. So how have you found like raising a young one in Warkworth, kind of outside of the city, and like that kind of dynamic? How have you found that?
It's probably been a little bit more challenging than I thought it was going to be, just because we do sometimes want to come down to the city. So, it's a 45-minute trip down to the city without traffic. So with traffic, it's like an hour 15. We generally just avoid traffic at all costs. But working in with a little baby who's got naps, it means that, it adds another hour and a half to 2 hours to your, if you're coming down for a meeting or something. It's like instead of a 1 hour meeting, it becomes a 3 hour meeting. So working that in with like in between baby naps is a little bit challenging. But, the other side of the coin is that we've got everything is so close for us. He's like in this cool community where we can just walk down to the shops. We walk all around. We've got friends with like similar age kids who are very close to us. And he's got this really cool little daycare, which, you know, it's got like chickens and a vegetable garden and all sorts of cool stuff that he probably, you know, he wouldn't have if we lived in the city.
The modern kindergarten.
The modern kindergarten, exactly.
Yeah. Education at its finest.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, it's challenging at times, but it's overall it's so cool.
Yeah.
So with that move, moving out of the city life, the like rush and hustle and bustle down here, and with all of your experience in The Bachelor and being in the limelight and everything, obviously there's a bit of a label that's been planted on you, right? Like, oh, it's Art Green, he's the dude who won The Bachelor. But who are you right now? What are you doing right now? What are you passionate about? And who would you say you are right now?
Oof, another great question. Yeah, totally. Like, I definitely agree. I've sort of got like a bit of a, I've been kind of like labelled as, Green the Bachelor. Although it's kind of worn off a bit lately, which has been quite nice.
That's cool.
Just, you know, it's been 5.5 years since we were on the show. So for the first like 2-3 years, I was always like, you know, Art the Bachelor. Now I think people have kind of forgotten a little bit about that. And now, so it's difficult because Maddie and I both find that we still kind of have this weird, kind of like a label on us where we're like, kind of like sweethearts and like we're like this perfect couple. And so it's kind of like we've been put up on a pedestal by the media or social media and so they're kind of just like waiting for us to kind of fail or fall.
Dang.
So it's a strange place to be in that we kind of like have to be very careful kind of thing.
A lot of pressure in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. And so it's a bit of a funny one. But in terms of who I am now, I'd say I'm very much just a guy that is loving being a dad.
Cool.
So, you know, I'm a year and a half into figuring out how to be a father. And so far I haven't killed my child yet, so I'm obviously doing something right.
Victory.
So
we're winning.
And I'm absolutely loving it, you know. It's incredibly fulfilling. More fulfilling than anything I've ever done in my life. So I think it's definitely something that I'm designed to do.
That's cool.
And I'm very passionate about health and well-being and discovering and learning different methodologies and different ways of living and being aligned with our health and the human body the way that it was designed to be. So I guess I'm kind of like a health experimenter. So I haven't quite figured out, you know, the one best way of doing anything, but I'm just like discovering different ways of exploring that, and I really enjoy that. And then other than that, I'm also learning about gardening. So
my man.
Yeah,
Very
so
evident through your stories.
Green fingers.
Definitely. So learning about gardening. Got a veggie garden which I'm very into. And then so that's kind of like the stuff that I'm really passionate about and that I love doing. And then the way that I sort of make a living is another side of me, which is Art the presenter or Art the host. And so I've been hosting The Bachelor and Bachelorette the last couple of seasons. And that's stuff that I've really enjoyed doing. So that's cool. I hope that I get a bit more work doing that sort of thing because I just enjoy doing it, and it's quite nice. It works well for me in that I can kind of do these blocks of work. Kind of like it's all, you know, I'm all in when I'm doing that, and I don't really, oftentimes I'm working away, I don't get to see the family, but then it means I have the luxury of kind of like making hay while the sun shines there, and then coming home and then doing all the stuff I'm passionate about and all the family life and stuff outside of it. So that's me. That's me at the moment.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So fun. Far out. What one of those areas, like, you know, I guess you've been heavily involved in like Bachelor, Bachelorette. Is there any kind of other spaces that you want to explore on the TV?
don't know. I thought about getting into acting, and then
Hey, that's a fun other hat to wear.
I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know. I'm not. I think if it's not a hell yeah, then it's maybe a hell no.
Cool.
And for me, it's not a hell yeah.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I'm just I'm kind of not sure if either I'm not ready for that yet or what. I enjoy the hosting side of things because, to be honest, it's pretty easy.
Nice.
And it's just fun.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if I'm acting, then I would probably go all in. I'd probably be very much immersed in this character and learning lines and stuff. And I probably, the way that my mind works is that I'm always thinking about different things. And sometimes it can be to my detriment in that Maddie will often feel like I'm not really that present because I'm always thinking about other things. So I feel like if I had a go at acting, I'd probably be a little bit away with the fairies thinking about different things, right?
Yeah.
They kind of compound that.
Just
existing
pull you in a
thing.
whole other direction.
Yeah.
Split your time into a whole other...
Yeah, I think so. And right now with, such a young family that I want to be completely present for, it's like, I don't know if I need to do that right now.
And you want to be yourself, right? Like you want to like know yourself and understand yourself and like be the best that you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And hosting's a great way to do that because I can actually be myself. I don't need to see anyone else.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that because I think ever since the start and hearing, it's going to be on The Bachelor and stuff like that, the whole family was just like, whoa, this is actually huge.
Yeah.
But there's no one other than Art that we could see doing it and just killing it. And you went on there and I just remember people asking me like, is Art really like that? Like, is he really that person in real life? I'm like, yeah, he's honestly just doing him in the TV world. Like, I couldn't say he's putting on any front. And because you are an incredibly charismatic dude, friendly, loving dude, and you've got this energy that you bring, which is so evident through your success in it all. But how do you wind down from that? How do you turn off? Before this podcast was rolling, we were talking about your Ayurvedic meditation.
Oh, yeah, Vedic meditation.
Vedic?
Yeah,
Nice.
Ayurvedic is part of the same realm of philosophy. And
That was a great stab in the dark right there from you.
well done, man. Nicely played.
You want to expand on that for us?
Yeah, firstly, thank you very much for those kind words. I appreciate that, man. And how do I wind down? So like a few different things, really. Meditation's been a big part of my life for the last 4 years or so, I'd say. And I've tried different forms of meditation, quite a few different forms. And I don't think that there's any one best form, which is interesting because sometimes when you learn a different form of meditation or a different technique of meditation, it seems like the person you're learning it off, like to them, that's the be all and end all. And like, that's the best thing. And I've definitely felt like that when I've learned from different practitioners that they've kind of thought that too. But for me, I think that there are so many different forms of meditation and they all have their merit, and some people resonate with different forms of meditation better than others. For me, I've got kind of like a bit of a repertoire of probably like 3 different forms of meditation that I use.
Nice.
For depending on what I'm up to and how I'm feeling and my mood and what I want to get out of meditation. So I'll delve into meditation or what Vedic meditation is if you want. I'll just mention the other things that sort of help me unwind. I've also got into doing ice baths or just like cold water immersion.
So
yeah.
I've seen that on your story heaps. It looks like a good time.
Yeah.
Not a fan myself, but haven't quite cracked the code
yet. Oh mate, we'll convert you.
I tried slowly like shipping the old shower nozzle back slightly further, and I was like, nah. Today's the day.
Nah, hey, look, it's not for everyone. It's honestly not. But it is for me. Like I found it hugely beneficial.
Cool.
Cold water. And then like exercise. Yeah, I'm physically active most days. And for me, that's a huge stress relief. And I find that on days when I don't fit it in, I don't have time for it, then I get a little bit like, I feel it, I feel a little bit more like anxious or a bit antsy.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my 3 like
big ones.
My 3 big ones are meditation, cold, and exercise, movement. But yeah, so the Vedic meditation that I've been learning is really cool. It's a very old, I think it's the oldest form of meditation. It's what all forms of meditation stem from, and it's a mantra-based meditation. It's incredibly simple. You don't even, you really, all you're doing is reciting a mantra, which is kind of like a sound. It's not even really a word. Or at least it's not a word that I understand.
Can you give us a demo?
I actually can't because it's a personal mantra.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Right. Not really supposed to tell it to anyone.
Wow.
Yeah, so you have a personal mantra.
Far out.
Yeah.
So you just kind of recite it and think it over and over in your head, and it helps to draw you down into these like deep meditative states and help to release stress and sort of evoke these blissful states. And the thing I quite like about it is it is so effortless. You don't have to. It's like definitely the easiest form of meditation that I've ever learned. Like there's nothing difficult about it. You know, a lot of people say that they struggle to meditate. They can't turn their brain off. Meditation's hard. I've found this one to be the easiest form. And so, I really like it. It means that I'm more likely to do it every day. And so for me, that's a big thing. So that's pretty much how I turn off.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll watch some Bachelor or Bachelorette, and that's a bit of it. That turns my brain off as well because it's pretty... it's pretty trashy TV. But it's quite fun.
Oh, that's epic. Yeah. So good. Far out. Do you like, I guess, watching content like that, being a part of it, presenting it, we're chatting a little bit about it before, like, does it take you back into any weird spaces or, what is that like for you?
Yeah, watching it back is, I guess, like, being there while filming is quite fun. Yeah. Because I feel like I've got, like, literally front row seats in this, like... drama that's unfolding in front of me, and I can see these people, these contestants, I guess you call them, sort of getting caught up in this bubble. Everyone refers to it as being in a bubble because you don't have any communication with the outside world, and you can't really talk to anyone about what you're going through when they're in there. That they feel like they're in a bubble, and when they're in this bubble, their emotions are heightened, and they're thinking and talking and feeling in different ways that they probably wouldn't feel and act out in the real world. So kind of having front row seats and seeing that and knowing that like I was kind of like feeling the same as them back when I was on the show, but like but I don't have to feel like that. I'm just watching, and I've got no stress.
To you guys.
Exactly.
You can just sit back and like enjoy the popcorn.
It is like that. And so for some reason, like, it sounds bad, but it's kind of a nice feeling that I don't have to be caught up in it. I get to witness it. So and I and it's fun. I really enjoy the filming because it's just I get to. I actually really enjoy it because I joke around with the crew heaps and play pranks on them and stuff, and that's a lot of fun. And then watching it back, it's interesting. That I think brings back the memories of actually being on the show, and then watching when Maddie and I were on the show. That brings back the memories, and I see that, and it's quite dramatic on the TV, and I think back to what it was like when we were on, and it was pretty dramatic. It was pretty full on. Yeah.
Are you stoked with the way that they represented you through like the show?
Yeah, I am. I think it was. I think it was very safe.
That's cool.
They, we were the first season in New Zealand of The Bachelor, and they were just testing out the format in New Zealand. Yeah. And it's an American format, so for the first season, they wanted to make sure it was like by the book. It's so like they edited out anything that was to do with like any of my humor or anything like that, because that would come across as being insincere and taking away from the seriousness of finding love on a reality TV show. So. So they basically so that was like totally me on TV, but it was just a sort of like a dulled down PC version of myself.
Pretty outrageous character.
Yeah, pretty extreme. So so I wasn't
the editing team like god.
This guy is boring. But I think that was pretty much me, just a little bit more boring and
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
What do you reckon the next 5 years look like for you?
Oh, 5 years. Okay, so I'm 32 now, so that takes me up to 37. Damn. What do I want to do in the next 5 years? Okay, we've got another kid due in mid-June.
That's so fun.
So that's a couple of months away, which is a little bit scary.
Yeah.
So in 5 years, so Milo will have started school. Damn. New kid will just be about to start school. I guess I want to keep on doing exactly what I'm doing. I probably want to find a little bit more direction in terms of where I want to go in the future. I'm quite happy just where I am at the moment, you know, being able to make money, but having it as my main goal to be there for my kids through this early period of their childhood.
Yeah.
I think that it's not valued enough in our society. Just, you know, the impact that we can have on our kids by being incredibly present and being there for their first, I think for their first 1,000 days, which is like 3.5 years, or 3 years, is
massive.
Wait,
just over 3 years.
Yeah, just over 3 years. Is huge for their personal development. In fact, we interviewed this neuroscientist guy on our podcast who was who's like a childhood neuroscientist educator, and he was talking about all the science showing that in the amount of words spoken to a kid in the first 1,000 years is directly corresponds to their success when they're 30.
Crazy.
So it's like the amount of words spoken to them by their parent or prime caregiver. Yeah,
it's so formative.
Yeah, directly corresponds to their. And so that was. So I think the parameters there it was mainly down to like their income and stuff like that as those markers. But
for success.
Yeah, so I don't think they've looked at. Don't think they've measured like happiness markers and stuff.
Mental health.
No. I asked him about that, and I don't think there's a science around that yet. But he said it was all like
that would be
indicative. Yeah, I know. Yeah. All indicative. I mean, I imagine it would be probably correspond to that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I value that quite highly. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. But I want to work towards having some sort of purpose-driven something that I'm going to be working on in the future. Something that I'm like really proud that my that my kids are really proud of me.
Yeah,
I think is a really good marker for what I want to be doing, and it'll probably be around something to do with health of people or health of the planet. And so so I'm kind of like working around figuring out what that'll be, taking it day by day, but and apart from that, trying to have as much fun as I can.
Nice,
my man.
I don't think there's enough fun in the world, especially at the moment with COVID and everything's all quite serious and a lot of different social movements that are a lot of kind of like fear-based, I think.
Yeah.
And I think there just needs to be a lot more fun and joy. And so I just want to have as much fun because I think that fun and laughter is infectious. So I want to just try and, do that.
So good. How do you have fun?
How do I have fun? Just joking around with mates and not taking myself too seriously. And that's probably how I have most of my fun. Is just
hanging out with
just
mates.
hanging and
relax.
Going to the beach.
Yeah, come on.
Trying to learn how to surf and being useless.
But you will get up one time.
Eventually.
I will.
It's the next wave, eh?
Yeah.
Always chasing the next wave. There's one more. There's one out there, I swear.
Well, that's the great thing about the beach. The next wave is always coming. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't change depending on the day. It's like it's always there. So you can always count on it. And I just, waves in the sea can be great metaphors for life.
So
in heaps of
cool.
different ways.
That'll preach.
That's it. I love it. I'm feeling it.
If you met your younger self going into, like, let's talk like pre the Bachelor season and pre that massive shift in your life, like I believe that would have been a pretty pivotal moment in your life, sending you on this crazy trajectory that you're on now. What would you, if you had the chance, what would you say to your younger self just about to scratch the surface of that season? One sentence, one little nugget.
I'd probably say nothing.
Nice.
Because I'm so happy with how everything went, how everything's gone in my life so far, that I think if I'd said anything to my earlier me, then it might change my trajectory.
Wow.
So I think I'd just say nothing.
Just let it fly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Leave it to happen.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I'm real curious. What's your bracelet?
This here's a Whoop strap.
Nice.
Yeah. So this thing is continuously monitoring
all your bits
my
and
heart
bobs.
rate. And so it's kind of like a the main thing that it's, I guess, marketed around is measuring your recovery.
Okay.
So it's all to do with measuring your sleep, but also measuring your heart rate variability, which is variability between your heartbeats. And it's like this tiniest little change, this variability, but it's an indicator of how much time you're spending in your parasympathetic or sympathetic nervous system, which is basically either your rest and digest system or your fight and flight system.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and
Kind of just explores the different areas.
Yeah. So, and then the fascinating thing I find about it is that I wake up every morning and I've got an app on my phone and it says, hey, we've tracked your sleep. Also, let us know what you did yesterday. So I've got a little journal. I've pre-programmed in these things that I say, yes, I did this, or no, I didn't do this. And it's like, did I meditate? Yes, no. Did I do an ice bath? Did I do a sauna? Did I use my blue light blocking glasses? Did I read before bed? Did I use my phone before bed?
Yeah.
Did I all sorts of things? What was my diet? Did I follow a paleo-based diet, which is loosely what I try and
do.
follow? Did I drink alcohol? How many coffees did I have? All these things, right?
Yeah.
And then it's tracking me for like I think it needs to track you for a minimum of a month before it can give you the data on this. But then it shows you how good your sleep is and how rested you are and this heart rate variability that I talked about and how the different things that you did during the day impacted that. And so it can draw these correlations and show you how these things are impacting you, your different lifestyle things and what they're doing for you in terms of I look at it as my mental health because I try and I want a higher heart rate variability score, meaning that I'm spending more time in my chilled out rest and digest zone. So
interesting.
It's really cool. It's a cool thing, and it tracks like exercise and stuff and
all the bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very, very fun.
Hey, we know you're a busy dude, so we won't keep you for much longer. But it's been amazing having
really
you on.
has.
Thank
It
you
really
for coming
has.
and giving some time.
Guys, this has been great. I love what you're up to, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Before we go, we've got, I guess, two more questions. I've got one, and I think you've got one to finish on. Curious, like we work with a lot of creatives. We've kind of started to establish this creative community, and what does your creative world and life look like? And I guess with your son and with your company that you've started, your podcast, and all of those different spheres that you operate in, what does Art Green the Creative look like? And
great question. Yeah, because I'm a big believer in like everyone being creative. Figuring out there's different outlets, and like even someone who's an accountant who might not think they're creative. 100%. It's like numbers are creative.
Oh yeah.
And the way their brain works, like I wish I had a brain like that.
It's fascinating.
So
interview way better. Totally. Around some corners.
Creativity for me, I don't know. Like I come from a family that's full of like hugely creative people. Like Charlie, his sister Harriet, my sister Emily, who's a photographer and stuff, and so I've sort of always felt that I'm not creative because I didn't fit in with like the creative arts kind of thing. But I think for me, I express my creativity through physical movement. So I really enjoy just using my body and discovering my body in different movements and how I can alter it and how it responds to different stimuli. And it's just like, I just love experimenting with my body and health. And that's kind of a bit of creativity for me.
That's sick. Yeah.
I love that. And then apart from that, I guess creativity in like my hosting stuff and on TV. And I'm sort of enjoying improving that and getting better at that as well. Cool. So there's a bit of creativity for me there as well.
That's epic.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So good.
Yeah. Quick fire wrap up question.
Oh,
so
great.
With Jeffrey and what we're doing,
yes,
I don't know how much you've looked into it. I don't know kind of what your thoughts are on it, but from what you do know, what would you like to see more of in the future, or where would you like to see us take what we're doing with the community, with the podcast, with
creatives in general?
Yeah.
How many events do you do?
Oh, conviction. We were literally chatting about this the other day. We're like, we do not do enough. We need to do it. And we're like,
You know what? Because I think events are awesome because you can get community together, and then community attracts more community.
So true.
And then on top of that, you can also it's a great way to create natural and organic content.
Yeah.
Shout out, Dylan.
Shout out to then help show people what you're up to as well.
That's cool.
And it can be the events can be anything, and like we talked about the creativity being such a broad spectrum of creativity. It's like you can do so many different cool events and things.
100%.
So I'm a big fan of that sort of stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, right there.
So yeah, that would be mine.
Yeah, that's a great call out.
Yeah. Yeah,
and so you guys are going to commit to that.
Yeah. Okay,
So
find a
2
concrete
buddies.
slab, we'll carve it in.
I'll check in with you guys in a week's time and see what you've locked in.
Our new accountability partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
Amazing.
this.
Bro, thanks so much for coming on.
Guys.
It's been great.
Loved it. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Until next time.
Indeed.
Yeah, we'll catch up in 6 months' time.
Done.
Okay.
And we'll see where you guys have got to. And
How
we'll
many
see
events
what
were
I'm up
done?
to.
How the garden's going?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, I like it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Deal.
Let's do it. Phenomenal.
Marvelous.
It's been a pleasure, Art. All the best.
Cheers, mate.
See you.
Phenomenal.